Welcome, Wastelanders, or should that be urban Wastelanders? Fallout is well known for its somewhat weakly aged limitations, the sort of limitations where players will make extensive YouTube compilations about, Fallout being Fallout, where players suddenly no clip off the edge of the universe, or perhaps your companion is suddenly on fire. This, though, is the cost of a world that is rich with characters, with dialogue, and with lore. But when setting out to make this episode's movie, Giuseppe Fari thought, nah, none of that. And, well, sadly, we found ourselves just slipping straight through this movie. Slipping through like a tin of old El Paso, slipping through the guts of an urban wasteland hunk. This episode, we watched 1987's Urban Warriors. Welcome, everybody, to Pod Never Changes. It's a Fallout Movies podcast where, in lieu of a actual Fallout movie, we are looking for a decent surrogate, a nice analogue to kind of fill that gap there. This week, I am your host, Ricky, and with me, as always, is my co-host. It's... Oh, wait. No? Could it be? It is. He's here. He may have a tan, but he ain't no daytime mutant. It's LJ.
Excellent. Hello.
Excellent.
How are we doing?
That took me all of 30 seconds, that intro.
You didn't write that one down.
I made a brief note. I was getting a glass of water before record, and I just let me just make a note of that. Yes, I did, sadly. I'm doing good. How are we today?
Yeah, all good. I mean, the movie is the movie, but I'm good.
Are you revoking my license to choose movies?
We'll find
Based
out.
on this one, I might be revoking my own. Having said that, I kind of had fun at times.
What do we watch?
We've figured out for this episode, we watched Urban Warriors. So it's 1984, 1987. It's very much a
87.
87. Thank you. It's very much a kind of Mad Max ripoff. It's an Italian Mad Max ripoff. There's some fun Italian actors with generic American voices. There's, for some reason, a car chase. There's lots of things going on. There's the least mutant-looking mutants. Wow, yeah. It's a lot. There's a lot, and yet...
There's a lot, and
there's
yet
so little.
Yes.
It's incredible.
Anyway, what are we doing?
It's a movie that they had to scrape together to make 83 minutes. It's incredible. So we've watched the movie, and now we're going to discuss it. We're going to rank it. We're also going to, as well as talking about this movie, maybe talk a little bit about Fallout in general, see how we're doing. And we're going to rate it using our what we call our great score, and we'll go to that in a minute.
Cool. All right. So each week, a little bit of Fallout history, our Fallout history. This week, I was going to keep it a little bit related to the film, not to foreshadow some trivia too much. But my question is, if you were to splice in any element, gameplay mechanic, story, whatever you want, any aspect of any other video game into the world of Fallout, into the games of Fallout, what would it be? Would it be, I don't know, like a Call of Duty Zombies type of sequence? Would it be a car chase from, I don't know, the Mad Max video game? What would it be?
See, I went a lot more basic in a way. I was thinking about this, and I was going to my go-to, right? Like a FromSoft something. And then they went, no. I went to kind of Mario Brothers and the later kind of Mega Drive / Sega Genesis, Sonic games, where I like the idea somehow of environment-specific power-ups. So you're on a mission, you're in a world, so it's maybe not an outdoor one, maybe it is, but you need a fire suit or a Tanuki suit or whatever. You have to fly. And so I like the idea of little power-ups that are specific to a world, and then they're pretty much gone after that. So you just have a little bit of free fun within a certain environment.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think of it's the kind of thing you could also have and then just brute force through anyway. So like if it's a flame specific mission, and it's like you need flame resistance, you could just brute force it. You could figure out other ways to get it, through whatever means you have, and food and power ups and aid and power suits and stuff, maybe that kind of thing. And it's a bit like I'm saying this now, and I'm kind of thinking you can kind of do it anyway. So, like in certain games, in Fallout 76, right? I know you're not a huge player. You can ghoulify yourself.
Oh.
And so I like the idea of being like, if there's a high radiation world, you can ghoulify yourself.
Yeah.
To complete it, so that radiation isn't doing you damage. Or you can just take the radiation damage and it sucks. So like I was just trying to think of like, is there a kind of an environment specific?
It kind of makes me think of Starfield a little bit. Have you played Starfield? I've mentioned it a couple of times on the pod, but
I've still not played Starfield now.
There's some zero gravity stuff in that game, right? Because obviously it's set in space, so you get sequences where like the grav drive of a ship that you're on, gets killed momentarily, and suddenly you've got like zero gravity missions, which are probably one of the cooler elements of an otherwise kind of underwhelming game. So it kind of reminds me of that. Like maybe you just got like a section, where suddenly you get this environment specific, moment specific power up or booster,
or maybe a between level bonus round. So you're like, again, like I'm thinking of Sonic more, where you maybe Sonic 2 and 3 and Sonic and Knuckles, you get a checkpoint and there's stars, you jump in, and then it's either like a little gumball machine, or it's like there's kind of different ones where you can play, and it's like different and different ones. And I kind of like that idea of like, what if there was just, I don't know, a room, you fall down a pit, I don't know. There's got to be a way in the world to be able to find, to be like, bonus, right? Or failing that, Street Fighter 2 smashing up a car,
To use your Mario Kart example, well, not Mario Kart, sorry, Mario example, in... Is it Super Mario Odyssey? I think you've got like certain little levels and sections that switch to the old traditional 2D format, and it's literally just for like a tiny section, and then you pop out and you just return back into 3D Mario world. So little things like that. That's cool. I think an aspect of Fallout that's not accentuated enough, or really even in it at all, is the verticality. I think Fallout's generally quite a flat game. It's just across the wasteland. I'm kind of thinking FromSoft, Elden Ring in particular has a lot of verticality, but specifically what I was thinking of was Dying Light, which is a post-apocalyptic, zombie game. And there's a lot of parkour in it, basically. You can just climb up buildings, and you use that to escape zombies. So I think if I could splice in any element, it would be some kind of ability to climb, and then using that as that verticality as a means of escaping from enemies or reaching loot that you couldn't otherwise reach.
You ever play the Infamous games?
Yes, the first one I have.
Is it that kind of thing where it's kind of parkour? You can just I'm climbing up there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you can. I'm trying to figure out like that would be fun, but I'm very aware of Fallout's limitations.
I don't think the current engine could handle that.
I think Diamond City is not climbable for a reason, because once you climb out, it's gonna glitch.
yeah, definitely.
I think is the idea. But if it could, then I would. That'd be fun. Why don't you tell me about the production of Urban Warriors?
I will. And by I will, I mean I won't, because I know nothing about this movie, because the internet knows nothing about this movie. This movie barely exists. Okay, I'll give you what I can.
Can you at least tell me who made the music?
No. No. Do you know? You're simply saying that like you know.
I don't, but
Okay.
I watched the same thing as you, and the credits came up. Yes, they came up in Italian. I could probably guess, right? But like, I quite enjoyed the music, and I was just like, I wonder who did the music here. But yeah,
I can tell you ahead of time, it's not going to be anyone who's done anything else that you know. Okay, so let's dive in. Urban Warriors, 1987. Action, post-apocalyptic, sci-fi, if you want to call it that. Directed by Giuseppe Vari, Italian filmmaker, presumably as an Italian name. A lot of westerns, I guess spaghetti westerns, I would assume.
yeah.
You know, so this seems to be kind of in that vein, I guess you could call it. You could kind of transpose
There's a lot of sand.
There is a lot of sand. There's a lot of like.
There's a couple of pistols.
A lot of chase sequences that could easily be transposed to horses, probably. You know, swap out some bikes for some horses. So yeah, a bunch of you know, westerns that I've never heard of. Probably will never see. I think the only noteworthy person within the crew, within the cast and crew, is our main man Brad, who I kept thinking his name was Brandon, is played by Bruno Bilotta. Do you know him? Have you?
Looking at his his IMDb, like he's in movies that I've seen and movies you've seen. He was in.
Yeah, I was surprised.
Spider-Man: Far From Home.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. You know, not prominent.
As Mob Boss, uncredited.
So there's a bunch of films actually. I was surprised because based on what the film is like, and you know, it's definitely low budget. I was thinking, there's no way anyone is in anything, but this man is in. Yeah, Spider-Man: Far From Home, Once Upon a Time in America, The Equalizer 3, The Tourist, American Assassin, Double Team, which I watched recently, Jean-Claude Van Damme and what's his name, Dennis Rodman.
Yeah.
So he's in a few things. He's not like, you know, the main guy in any of those, I don't think. But
he was the pallbearer in Mafia Mama.
There we go, Tony Collette. Yeah, so he's probably the most noteworthy person. I mean, yeah, so starring Bruno Bilotta. It says as Brad. It says he's playing Brad, and then in brackets on all of the credits it says as
Carl Landgren.
Yeah, and so is that like their kind of like a pen name, but like because it seems like they're credited as Carl Landgren, or is that like a dub thing?
I imagine this is whether it was a German release or not, because we also have Rosenda Schachschmidt, who plays Nina, Mutant Woman, as Rosenda Schachschmidt. Well, wait, does that mean?
But that's her name, isn't it?
Oh, that is her name. You're right.
That's the thing. Yeah. I think it because I saw the name Carl Lundgren pop up in the opening credits, and I immediately thought of Dolph Lundgren. Not quite the same, but like it's listed as their, I think, yeah, like a pen name for an author, or you know, that kind of thing. It's like an alternate. It seems like an alias that they were used. Maybe they didn't want to be known for being in the film. I don't know. But yeah, anyway, so that's the director and the cast. Want to have a go at the budget and the box office? No, you don't, because there's no information on that.
No information. No.
None whatsoever. I can't even quite give you the IMDb because when I wrote it, it's changed since I've written it.
Oh, really?
Have you posted an IMDb review?
No,
there's only
I haven't.
There's only 10 IMDb reviews, and so it was at a 3.7, and now it's gone up to a 4, I think. Unless I'm getting confused. I'm pretty sure I just saw it. Maybe I'm looking at the wrong film.
3.7 going up to a 4 with one. Does that mean if I drop a 5, it might go up to like a 4.2 or something?
Hold on, I'm just going to refresh my IMDb page. Let's see. No, okay, still at 3.7, so maybe I was looking at something else. So it's a 3.7 on IMDb. It doesn't even have a Letterboxd score. There's so few reviews. No Rotten Tomatoes page. There's no Wikipedia page for this movie. So we could write one. We know probably more about the movie than most people do. So,
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Producer, Pino Baricchi. Editor, Giuseppe Vari. Cinematography, Sergio Rubini. That is from Google. Hey, what does TMDB say?
What is TMDB? I keep seeing that pop up.
It's like just another IMDb, right. But it's
gotcha.
What it was. Is it? Wait, what is the T? What is the T?
It doesn't list. Letterboxd at least doesn't list a composer or anything for it. So I mean, it was just the same key being pressed over and over again. So it's fine. Anyway, the only bit of trivia that I could find was initially what I thought was a dubiously posted trivia note on IMDb, which references some scenes being borrowed from The Final Executioner, which is a 1984 movie. I did actually skim through the film to verify that is the case.
Who sound like an owl. Who do you know who directed or produced The Last Executioner?
Directed a guy called Romolo Guerreri.
I mean, we'll get it.
Do you know?
No. But like, we'll get into it right as we talk about this, unless we edit this out. But this movie was made with borrowing footage in mind, right? Because they shot things. It wasn't just like we need to pad this out after the fact. They shot things that
and sort of spliced it
to they shot things to have continuity.
Yeah.
With these things, terribly, they didn't even have the same camera. It goes like it changes the aspect ratio midway through the film several times. Like, but yeah, like it's fascinating. I'm just curious of like, was it the same director or producer or something? I don't know, but are they even aware? Did they borrow as in, sure, I'll get you next time?
Maybe. No, I mean, it is. There's at least one scene that I was able to verify that is just directly pulled from The Final Executioner, which we'll kind of mention as we get to it. But
okay,
yeah, it's fascinating. Cool. Should we dive in?
Well, we need to rate this movie. Mm-hmm. So we're going to be using our GRATE system. So the GRATE system, that's GREAT. It's our way, think of like special, right? It's our way of being able to assign points to and score and rank, and then we can compare these if we ever finish looking at our movies and finding the best one or the most Fallout-like one. So that's G. That's G for genre. R for the randoms, as in like random specific things. E is for environment, A is for aesthetic, and T is for tribes. So if we're thinking about genre, it's the many direct or referenced Fallout genres and plot twists and quests. Think about westerns, think about going to save a member of your family who's disappeared, things like that. For the random specifics, those are the super specific things that are very Fallout, such as like little perks that you get, dialogues and gameplay mechanisms. It's kind of catching everything that's very Fallout that isn't part of the G, the E, the A, and the T as well. But we place it here. But then also looking at environment, as I say. So that's world building lore as well as locations. So we can be thinking about wasteland, but we can also think about apocalypse. Those are both environment there. Aesthetic. So these are like inventory items, right? So clothing, but it could also be sounds, gore, humor, things that we find in Fallout games, right? That are very Fallout specific like that. Think about pre-war food, think about country music, think about exploding limbs and body pieces. Body pieces? Body parts. And T is then tribes, so it's groups and individuals that are populating the movie. They could be distinct groups, they could be specifically called raiders, or they could be just basically raiders, even though they're not called raiders. Do we have, underground agents of devious pseudo-government, in there? Is there a dog companion? Do you recognize a specific robot? Stuff like that when we're talking about tribes. So again, that's that's genre, random specifics, environment, aesthetic, and tribes. And what happens is, as we are talking about the movie, as we recap the movie, if we recap something that was very Fallout, we give it a point under one of these particular headings. There is maximum of 6 per heading, which means you can get a maximum of 30 for the great score. So you can get maximum of 6 each. Great, it goes up to 30. At the end of it, also though, we're also looking at what we call a debuff. So just like in a game, you drink a nice beer in Fallout, you get a plus to strength, you get minuses to intelligence, right? We're also having debuffs, and the debuffs are things that are just not very Fallout at all, very explicitly not very Fallout. So when we talk about Mad Max, this is the car chases. Like, there's so much in that movie that is very Fallout, but the car chase, it's such a non-Fallout thing that we gave it a -1 point for that. So it's the same thing here. So you can get a maximum of 30, but then you can also get a penalty with the debuffs there. Great.
Fantastic.
Great.
Brilliant.
Sweet.
Oh no, great. Okay.
Great. Thank you. Yes. Urban Warriors. So it opens with no titles. We just see 3 guys in some white mechanic-style jumpsuits, very kind of 70s, 80s looking terminals that they're working on. They are beeping and booping. One of the guys, who identifies himself on a telephone as Brad Miller. It's a great generic American accent that's dubbed.
Yeah, this is Brad Milford. Yes, I just finished checking the commutators at base 950.
He gets up to use the phone, calls somebody with some made-up computer science dialogue that you don't really need to follow. It's all, I feel like he could have improvised a lot of it. We learn that they're ready to come back up. So whatever they're doing is that they are underground somewhere, computing. This tells us, yes, they're underground, and suddenly something happens. The lights go out. So does the phone. We get some black and white stock footage of nuclear bombs exploding and volcanoes erupting. So that is what is happening. I was about to say upstairs, but above ground.
In heaven.
In heaven, yeah. We're then back to the underground, and it's dark. They find some flashlights and decide to make their way out. There's some excellent cheesy dialogue about, we need electricity for just about everything, but we only realize it when we don't have any. I'm like, okay, whatever. And they follow it up with a horrible, you could say the same about women. It's like, all right, movie. I'm getting the tone of this. They find the emergency exit tunnels, which are kind of less kind of white and clean, like the lab that they were in, and a little more grim. We then get some Itali disco music, which is really fun with synthesizer. And we start to get the titles, and we watch the computer scientists start to make their way out in the dark. It's like a little montage to the music, which I quite enjoyed, if I'm being honest with you. So what are our thoughts on the world-ending event and the sweet-ass synth theme tune?
I like the theme tune here. I don't know if it's the same one that comes later in the film that's kind of repeating, because then
Definitely.
that gets tired.
It is.
Yeah.
They milk it.
Yeah, they
milk
milk it, to say the least. Yeah, I mean, if they're splicing in footage from other films, then I think repetitive music is probably going to be par for the course.
It's just occurring to me now that maybe this theme wasn't written specifically for this movie.
Yeah, yeah, I think so.
My heart broke a little.
It's, I mean, it's low budget, spliced in sort of stock footage of a nuclear bomb and a volcano. It's very Fallout, I thought scientists, it's weird, like they're wearing white outfits which signals scientists, but then when you kind of like squint and you look and you're like, oh wait, no, they're like you said, a weird mechanic outfits that are for some reason all white. I don't know if that meant that they were going for them being scientists, but our main guy is quite jacked, so
I think it's so that he can unzip it and you can get a deep V at some point.
Yeah, I think that's probably it. I mean, it's a very Fallout setup. It's they're mechanics or scientists underground, and the world ends above.
Is that some great points?
I think so. Yeah,
it's the world, right? It's bombs, and I guess there's some environmental things. But
so I had old school computer room.
Yeah. I was thinking about the terminals. They're very 70s looking, I think, even though this is made in the 80s. They're very... if I was to say MS-DOS and somebody heard that who knows that MS-DOS is not actually what I'm saying it is. But you get the idea, right? It's line by line computing. And there's also, like data banks of old... like magnetic tape whirring round. There's lots of those which are very Fallout looking.
Yeah. So old school computer room, mushroom clouds I've got as a visual, because I think significantly in this film it's a visual more than anything else. Yes.
Okay, so the music stops, the science guys kind of turn a corner trying to escape, and there's a little cave in and it surprises them. One of the guys gets injured. I think this guy is Stan, we later find out. They get back up and try to leave via an air duct. They're briefly perturbed by a large metal grate where one of the weedy science guys asks Brad to move it, even quoting, "We're weaklings." Again, it's the dialogue, and it's the fact that, like, if you told me one guy did every male voice, I would believe you.
Definitely. I was kind of disappointed there weren't subtitles available for the Italian, because I would have been curious to just see how the Italian sounded.
Base sotterranea centrale. Sì, sono Brad Milford. Sì, certo. Ho finito di controllare in questo momento I commutatori a quota 900 piedi.
Because I do find dubbing often changes the being an anime watcher, like when you watch the Japanese original audio versus like the dubbed, it changes sometimes characters, it changes the tone, because the tone of the dubbing is like, the delivery is so deadpan and weird that it's jarring,
and it doesn't fit, right? Like that. he's like this kind of kind of super tan, buff, kind of hot young guy, and he talks so generic. If I was to say powdered toast man, would you know what I was saying?
No, but I can kind of get, I kind of get the vibe. Yeah.
It's very Ren and Stimpy. Like that's kind of like a human in Ren and Stimpy is kind of the voice I'm getting from this guy. Okay, so they can't move the grate, so they take a nap. And they even
the first of many naps.
In fact, they do, and he even says like, "Great, we've had 8 hours. We can move." It's like it's so specific. They decide to look for another way out, and they emerge from what looks like catacombs or something really quite old, rather than an escape tunnel. They reach the surface. They shield their eyes because it's bright daylight. Everything is super bright there. I didn't understand if their reactions as they're looking around here, if it's like they're upset at what they're seeing, because it just kind of looks like the countryside with a couple of like industrial buildings. Like but I think they're meant. Do we think that they're meant to be looking and going like, oh my god, the world is so different? And it's like, this
is one of many just very poor filmmaking moments where they're panning across, and I'm kind of just like, is that what it's meant to look like? Like, could we have not done with an establishing shot before, maybe, to just like show, okay, this is what it looked like before, and now it's a dusty wasteland. Instead, I'm just like, do they work underneath the dusty wasteland? It's very strange.
So they start walking around what looks like a gravel pit, and they start rummaging around in one of the old buildings. They immediately start looting. They find beer, canned tuna, and canned chili. It is old El Paso brand chili. They take a sleep again They decide to talk about if anybody else has survived, and they decide to make a plan. The plan is we will load things into that car outside and drive. Okay, great plan. There are some rattling noises in the night. The guy who was injured, Stan, he pops his boots on and he goes out and he checks. It was just some sheet metal that was for some reason dangling, and he dismantles it, turns around to go back in, and he freezes as he sees something. Bum, bum, bum. So it's the morning. Brad and I believe the other guy is called Maury. They realise Stan is missing. They search for him, but only find his decapitated head on the boot of the car. So what do we think about this new world?
They sleep some more.
Yeah. I mean, you telling me if it's the end of the world, you wouldn't take a couple of naps?
No, but you know what? Actually, funnily enough, I did note early on, even I think maybe with the first sleep, this is like genuinely with the first of many sleeps in this film. I did kind of think, I kind of like it because this is an aspect of like post-apocalyptic survival that's quite a key thing, is that you need to find somewhere to sleep. And I did actually have a note here around, a great point.
That is a mechanism. If you sleep, you get bonus XP.
Yeah, so
yes,
we've got floor beds because in that where they go to sleep there, it's very like you find the just rogue mattresses in Fallout. So from an aesthetic point of view, that fits. And then from like a gameplay mechanic point of view as well, sleeping, which sounds like a very mundane thing to include, but hey,
I think it counts though, right?
Yeah,
I think it's is that aesthetic? No, it's random specifics.
Sleeping I put in random.
Yeah. Okay, if we're talking about great points here for this, if we're taking a checkpoint, shielding their eyes as they emerge from the vault.
Yeah.
I think that's got to be in there somewhere.
Would that be a random?
I think that's an aesthetic, right? It's just a visual thing. That whenever you emerge from the vault at the beginning, like it's like, oh, bright light, and if it's first person, it's hand in front of your eyes.
Yeah.
I feel like. I don't think this is a strong enough argument, but I was thinking when they're at the gravel pit, was the gravel pit where there's loads of Deathclaws in New Vegas? Is it New Vegas?
I can't actually off the top of my head remember which one. I think it is New Vegas.
I don't think it's a strong enough point, but to if anybody listening, that's the kind of aesthetic, right? It's just a gravel pit. It's just stone and dust and some warehouse type things. The looting is got to be a gameplay mechanic, right?
Yeah.
And the food that they find, beer and canned goods. I think those are aesthetic, right?
Indeed, yes.
Sweet.
I've got canned food scavenging.
What about Stan's decapitated head on the boot of the car?
Yeah.
It's a raider move.
So. Yeah.
It's a raider move. Okay.
Sorry. What would that be under? Aesthetic?
I think aesthetic, yeah. Well, yeah. So, Brad and Maury, they are continuing their looting. Brad finds handguns and bullets in a trunk. That's quite... Where are you going to find your weapons in Fallout? It's such a... Imagine the end of the world and you're like, oh, I just found a gun. That's pretty Fallout, I think. So while Maury loads... I'm going to keep saying his name wrong. While Maury loads up the car, Brad finds a tape recorder. It's got a recording of someone journaling everything that happened after the explosions. We are told that the radiation has psychologically transformed the people it has touched. Brad also notices someone outside the window watching him. Brad draws them out while Maury is getting the car moving. We see the guys who are, quote, touched by radiation. They're mutants, right? They're mutants. They're meant to be mutants in this. They don't look like mutants. They just kind of look like punk raiders.
They barely look like raiders, even, just a gang.
Yeah, and their leader is like a super jacked skinhead with braces and a white vest. He's the one leading them. So Brad leads them on a cat and mouse chase. He steals a shotgun. He uses it and drops it because he runs out of shells. There's more bad guys who show up on motorbikes. Brad and Maury escape in the car, but they're chased by some punk raiders on their bikes, and also the bad guy leader in a big military truck. The chase is pretty dull. There's just lots of driving along dirt roads. Brad shoots one guy off of a bike, but then they just start falling asleep and falling off bikes and like sleeping. They're kind of like weird, but they escape.
Maybe this movie is a lot deeper than we think, where it's got this sleeping theme throughout. It's like little motifs of sleeping.
Wow. Is it Wake Up Sheeple, or is it something else?
Could be. Wow. Yeah, I didn't think that, but that's a good idea. Yeah, could be that.
What are we thinking? Great score wise, finding the handguns specifically in a trunk, and I've got to ask you about the recording that they listened to. Yeah.
So the weapon finding. Yeah, I mean, I've put it down. I think it's a soft point. The recording though is a very strong one. That was almost exactly, and probably the closest example so far that we've had of a holotape.
Yeah, picking up clues, right?
Yeah, it's almost
not even just that, picking up clues, and something happens, right? Like during it, like he's going. It ends with "Oh my god," that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. It is just exactly how a Fallout holotape plays out, and it's even the scenario is the same, right? So the amount of this is the kind of that lab or whatever that place is, that computer lab, I guess, is exactly the kind of location that you would come to in Fallout 200 years after the bombs have dropped. You'd find a bunch of skeletons in lab coats. You'd listen to a holotape that describes what happened on the day that the bombs fell. Yeah, it's exactly right. So
that's true. It's a little exposition dump, isn't it?
Yeah,
and you're right. If this was truly a Fallout movie, those three guys would be dead down there. They would be skeletons in jumpsuits. You're right.
There's just like a thing about, like, again, the filmmaking, right, where stuff is unclear. Is that he picks up that holotape? I'll call it a holotape. From right next to the decapitated friend's head. His bed. So my initial thought was that it was his recording, but it's not, right? It's like a survivor above, right?
I must be. It's not his.
No, but like it just felt, it was like they find the record. I thought initially it was going to, because the reason why I thought this is that their reaction to their friend finding his decapitated head outside was so underwhelming. Like first of all, the scene just cuts straight to them being back inside, like looting the place.
Yeah, they didn't immediately run away.
Yeah, there's no like, oh my god, so it's like our buddy's dead, and there's no like emotional reaction afterwards where they're like, reflecting on it. They just resume like sociopaths, just like sifting through this garbage for loot. So. I think what's more Fallout than that, I guess.
Well, there's a moment later, I think, where somebody says, "Why didn't?" It's where Maury's on the bike, and it's not really Maury, but somebody says, "Why didn't we do this?" And he goes, "Why don't you tell that to my buddy Stan's head or something like that?" And it's like that's the only time they reference it. Okay, so our heroes they stop in a town, I guess, wherever this town is. They take a look around. It's dark. Brad has a flashlight. He wonders about a dark building to find a place to hang tight. They eat their beans. They make a plan to start searching. They have a map that they found in the car. They said it's a map of this state, whatever this state is. Until they're going to go searching until they find someone else who is not contaminated by the radiation. Maury refers to the raiders as headhunters. They talk family. Brad has a dead wife or girlfriend, and they kind of move over that real quick. I made a note. The movie moves past it very quickly, as if it doesn't matter, but they needed some backstory as to why he's not stressed about being alone in the world. Yeah. He was already alone, I guess. I don't think this makes him a lone wanderer at all. So the next day, they're getting ready to go out, and Maury finds some biker levers and a bike. He shows the levers first and then shows the bike. They decide to split up and search and return to base camp at night. So they say, we can cover more ground. I'll go on the bike, you go in the car. We get some shots of Maury on the bike. And I made a note here because I didn't realize at first. For some reason, the camera changes to wide angle. Some headhunters spot Maury, who, we now see his weird custom helmet, and confront him. It's three headhunters on bikes against Maury. This is where I realized that the footage is from another movie. They are using it to pad out. Maury has James Bond guns on his bike and is carrying a ninja sword, and his leather jacket is now a leather kimono. That's kind of where I started piecing all of this together. Of like,
I didn't piece this together, but I was confused. So thank you for the explanation, because I did think like, he's got this mask on.
It's his helmet, right? But it's like it's like a ninja mask. So it's a helmet with some studs, but it's narrow. So it's narrow, right? It's not a round helmet. It's very narrow, right? And it's got that kind of. And what we see later is, by the way, is I think I may mention this later on, is when more. This is why they intentionally knew they were going to do this, is because Maury walks in later and takes his helmet off. And it's made to look like this helmet,
right?
But it's a regular bike helmet, so it's just got like, I don't know, black tape or something to try and replicate the look, and it's got little studs on it, so it's like it's the same one, but it's inflated and round. It looks.
It's like super weird. Like there's a few things that confused me. There was the helmet thing, he kind of just blows up the I don't even know what to call them, mutant raiders.
Yeah. The movie calls them mutants. Yeah, they also call them headhunters, and the baddies.
Yeah, so there's just a few little weird things there where and then now that you said that that's also spliced in, that makes sense. Bit Power Rangers, right?
Yeah, it's such a weird look, and it's like, and so it's in a way it's awfully cute how the movies tried to replicate the look from that other movie.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like it's even got like this other movie that they've spliced in even has a better like ratio of like a
16:9 kind of.
Yeah. It's like it's a far better film. They're like we're gonna. I don't know. It's a far better film, but they're trying to replicate it. And so when Maury's got like his like leathers on and stuff, it's like, oh, I can see where you've tried to replicate it. That's kind of fun. So Brad is now on the road as well. The camera is now switched back, the ratio. We pass what I assume is Disneyland or an Epcot because there's Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck. And I can't tell if they're statues or inflatables, but they're big and they're outside an empty park entrance. Maury returns to base. And I made note here, I can see here that they're attempting to make his regular helmet look like that used from the other movie, but it's quite off.
I think the helmet is from The Final Executioner as well. So, I mentioned that as a trivia point. There's a scene later on that I kind of spotted as being directly from the movie. I hadn't gotten far enough into The Final Executioner to kind of suss out the bike, but I'm just looking at the poster now, and it is of a dude with a similar looking helmet on a bike. So I think, that is like a Punisher-esque kind of look that they've got. Maybe that's what the Executioner was, like an Italian rip-off of Punisher. Who knows?
I'm kind of curious about this movie now.
Yeah.
So Brad is back at the base as well. He's taking a stand-up bucket bath where they're talking about their searches, and they theorize that the headhunters basically shut off at night because they're mutants. So when the sun goes down, they get tired and weak and they sleep. So they should only move at sunset, and they should return to base at sunup. They also agree now to only use the car for economic reasons, but I think it's also because there's no more footage to steal. So they're like, we don't need this bike and this helmet anymore, so fine. Yeah. I want to mention the theory about being basically sun-powered. Is that the solar-powered perk? Is that the solar-powered perk?
That is a solar-powered perk, yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it is.
That's a random specific. Solar powered mutants.
Excellent.
I feel like that was a fluke, frankly.
There was a certain point in this film where I kind of just stopped taking Fallout notes. I kind of gave up.
Yeah, but it's because it suddenly becomes a puzzle that you're trying to solve when you're watching it. You go, wait, what's going on? Yeah. So they're now out on a search. The car starts making some noises. Hey, luckily there's another quarry-type place to stop and park and film.
There was also just one thing to note is that in the previous scene they talk about only going out at night, but in the very next scene they're out and about in the day again.
They try and toss this off with sun's going down, we got to go, or sun's coming up, or I think they throw that in there. But you're right, it is day. Yeah. So Maury tries fixing the car, but it's sunrise and the headhunters show up. The car starts, but Maury is shot, so only Brad escapes. Brad returns to the base. He's looking very sadly at Maury's biker scarf. Then I'm pretty sure he's over it pretty quickly, if I'm honest. Brad continues the searches alone. I think there's a passage of time here because suddenly he's now wearing a Wastelander NPC outfit. He's got a leather vest with studs on one shoulder and leopard print on the other.
See, I feel like you're giving it too much credit of like this is meant to signal passage of time. I just
they said, "Oh, sugar, I forgot. We've got a vest."
Yeah, like it's just his uniform, like it's his superhero outfit, I guess. I don't know, but maybe it's a passage of time.
Okay, so on his search, he bumps into a woman who appears to be trying to run and hide. He takes her back to his base. He tries to interrogate her. He sounds like a psychopath during this, where he says,
Do you want to tell me your name? Or is it a secret? Believe me, I don't want to hurt you. If I'd wanted to, I could already have cut you up into 1,000 pieces. My name's Brad Milford. What's yours?
Like you could even maybe get away with saying, "Hey, look, I'm not dangerous. If I wanted to kill you, I could have killed you." But he says, "I could have cut you into 1,000,000 pieces."
But he's doing it in that generic American voice. Yeah. You know, if I could have. Oh.
Yeah.
The woman is Julia. She says she was hiding in a bomb shelter, and they went out for food to eat. Like they were going to get some lunch. But they went out to get some food, and her group was killed by, quote, those horrible men. Brad gives her beans and beers.
And just to be clear, she's like throwing herself at him. She's like jumping.
It is, and he's also he thinks he's got Riz. He's like, let's telegraph this. It's a ruse. She's trying to seduce him for intentionally, but like he is. If they met each other and she wasn't trying to get him killed or captured, she'd have been like, "Ew, I know you're buff, but go away."
Yeah,
creep.
I think that's true. I also know that when they first introduce us to her, she's running and she's wearing a kind of tube top, and I'm pretty sure in the scene is like her boobs spill out, but you don't. It's from a distance, so it's not actually done. I don't think intentionally as like being gratuitous, but. Yeah, it was like a little...
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter because the best bit of the film is coming up.
Is it that there's suddenly the next day there's some banter, some bathing, some nudity, and then there's softcore sex featuring a fully naked Julia and a man wearing his trousers still. Is that the best part? That he's still clearly wearing his trousers, and it's just like,
okay,
weird, man.
I will say it right here now.
Go for it.
The best part of this film is the sex scene, which is really saying something, because usually in these movies it's like the gratuitous sex is the eye-rolly part, whereas I was like, oh, okay, this is actually mildly interesting now.
It was a relief, was it? Like, oh, God.
Let's calm down.
But like it was a relief in terms of like, I understand this.
Yeah, like at least this makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
God.
For me, I just put it was kind of awkward. But post-sex, Julia steals Brad's gun. The headhunters come in. It was a trick. The headhunter / mutant leader, he just kills Julia anyway, even though she was being used for this.
Yeah, and he just sort of has a throwaway line of like, she was double crossing you, but she was also double crossing us. There's this whole thing of like them wanting to. He kind of drops it here. Maybe you were just going to mention it, but it's the big muscle dude leader of the gang that walks in, and he basically says that she was going to drink his spinal marrow, I think is the way they describe it. So these mutants,
I was paying enough attention to make notes on this movie, and I didn't pick that up.
Yeah, so I think he says, she was going to take your spinal marrow for herself.
Oh,
so
right.
It seems like they need to drink spinal marrow, whatever that is, to sustain themselves.
Oh, like the Illuminati.
I guess that's why they decapitated Stan.
They needed a spine.
Yeah, to drink him.
Oh, sure. To drink him, nice.
Yeah.
They take Brad prisoner, by the way. Here, okay.
In again, everything is so weird because they take him prisoner. Not to jump in here, but like they take him prisoner, take him to his cell, but then they sort of immediately take him out of the cell as well. Like what seems to be 5 minutes later. There's very strange things going on here in terms of like the logic of what's going on.
I think you're skipping over lots.
Hardly lots.
A thing, maybe one thing you maybe skipped over. Who knows? We have to recap that. Just to wrap this section up. Great score. I want to throw in his NPC specific clothing. He's no longer a nerdy guy in his outfit. I want to throw in Brad's punk vest. He's now part of the Wasteland.
I'll put it down.
You put it down. Then I was trying to figure out the sofa that they were sat on when they were having bad banter with Julia, but no, I can't figure it out. I'm gonna skip past that now. Okay, so Brad is locked up. He's locked up in a room with a Kate Bush-looking woman in a peasant dress. The room is dark, and there appears to be moonlight shining through the windows. But the mutants are still awake for some reason at this point. The woman is Angela. Some goons come and collect Brad, and they tie him up out the front. You're right, I guess it was 2 minutes later, where the buff mutant leader can see him. They appear to be like in an artist's loft. It's kind of a weird place or choice that they are. But there's a mutant woman. I think we got her name from the credits, but I don't remember what it is, and we don't hear it here. So she's just called Mutant Woman right now. She says Brad is guilty of being an abomination or something.
This was so weird.
Yeah. They have some terrible dialogue about laws and rights and morals.
So bizarre.
Yeah. The lady mutant says that justice is on the side of the majority, and they're going to remain the majority because they're going to kill the minority. I'm like, I mean, that kind of makes sense, but you don't need to spell it out.
This dialogue here was kind of giving Samurai Cop.
Yeah.
Just very, if people aren't familiar, go watch Samurai Cop. But yeah, just very weird, janky, self-righteous dialogue. It was bizarre.
Yeah. It's
law? Is that what it was?
I think it's trying to... I don't know what it was, because the mutants, I think, work better as just ravenous mutants, right? But when they're suddenly like, no, we've got law and we've got ideas, whatever, and then they're like, great, and they pass judgment, and then what happens? They send him back to his cell. You know what I mean? But okay, this is where it starts to get mad, right? In terms of production, let's say. So Brad is sent back to his cell with Angela, where he starts stewing. Angela tells us she was an ecology student, and she was in a shielded valley from the radiation. She said they were baited out of their hiding by people dropping canned food from a helicopter, and they assumed it was a government helicopter. We then start to see more footage, right? From, again, the camera has changed, and it's like, wow, oh, that's weird. Yeah, that's a helicopter. And all these so-called ecology students and their van, it's all weird. But basically, there's they go to retrieve it, and they're ambushed by bikers. But the bikers have a different look, right? They're like on like trials bikes, you know? They're like dirt road bikes rather than biker bikes. And it's like, okay, this is clearly from a different movie. They're all uniform, like they've got red bikes, you know, like they're from a gang. And also then there were suddenly two cars that are circling each other, and then one of the cars pushes the other car off of a cliff. So this is happening while Angela is trying to explain that all of her people were then mostly killed, and then those who survived fell into another massacre. And then we cut to more footage from another movie, which is, we see, again, more different cameras. There's different costumes, different looks, different guns. The mutant-looking guys are just punks here. They're shooting unarmed people. I made a note. All of this footage here is the last 18 minutes of the movie, and this has been 5 of it, which is using footage from another film and having Angela try to explain who she is and where she came from.
Yeah.
And she is, to be frank, immaterial to the movie, Angela.
Yeah.
Almost, right? She has no real anything on this movie, but they thought, how can we fit this in? And my favourite part here is like they keep splicing this in, and because it's from another movie, there is no Angela. However, right at the end of her like saying like, all her, you know, everyone was killed and all the rest. What happens is she basically says, oh, then I was passed out, and then that big brute came and picked me up, and so that it changes back to our current camera view that we've been using for this movie, the camera, you know, and it's just her lying on the floor, and the big mutant guy comes along and just picks her up and runs off. It was such a great, like, yeah, we can do this. We can do this in 2 minutes.
Genuinely, like, I hadn't actually pieced together that it had spliced different films. I just was confused. That's like, throughout the film, multiple times, I was confused, and I wasn't sure if it was just bad filmmaking directly, and then once I realized that it was spliced footage, it made more sense, but then also less sense in a weird way. It's so strange.
It could be like an artwork, like a montage, but I'm not sure it is. Okay, and then we also then have Angela trying to explain, so you're going to be executed tomorrow. Let me tell you. No, she doesn't say, let me tell you. She goes, look out the window. And so they look out of a window at how people are executed. And again, it cuts to footage from another movie where a guy is trying to pick a can off of a wall, and then he gets shot, basically.
Yeah, that was the scene that I confirmed as being from The Final Executioner. I think everything is from The Final Executioner, I believe. So I think we should have just watched The Final Executioner is the conclusion of this.
I might... Don't tempt me.
It's kind of like in Family Guy, Peter's cutaway gags. It's like that, but like we just cut away to a different movie for a little while, and then you just come back and resume proceedings. Is really strange.
Yeah, I appreciate them trying, and I believe they knew their limitations, and the fact that they were like, we're going to film around it. Good for you, I guess. There's another movie.
They made a film at the end of it.
They did.
Guess.
Well, there's another movie, and I'm curious to get your position on it. I won't mention it, actually, but there's another movie on our list which did the same thing. And I know up front that they did it.
Well, we've had a little bit of it already where, not quite the same thing, but there was a couple of 2 movies that we watched that she shared a shot, which was actually from an art piece of a post-apocalyptic wasteland.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Cheapskates is amazing. Okay, so it's now night, and the mutant leader woman enters their cell. She explains that she's not actually a mutant.
I genuinely thought, by the way, I thought that when she came in, there was going to be another sex scene.
It had that vibe.
Yeah.
It had that vibe. But she says she's not a mutant. She's pretending to be a mutant to avoid being cut up. She asks Brad and Angela to take her with them. They agree. I'm trying to remember how he says yes. I'm pretty sure he went, okay.
I think it was. Yeah, you're right. I remember thinking the same thing.
Yeah. it was just the weirdest.
He says
yes.
They strike an agreement to take her with them if she lets them go.
Yeah, sure. It's a deal.
Yeah, it was just like, yeah. It was almost like he could have gone, yeah, no duh. Like, yeah. So they have to leave now as it's almost dawn and they'll be waking up. I've made a note, why did you wait so long then? If they're about to wake up, why did you do it then? You weren't sleeping. You're not a mutant. So the buff leader spots them and weakly tries to follow. The gang eventually, they get out and escape in a little military jeep. The disco music starts playing. The mutant leader, he now follows in his big military truck.
Not after doing a 5-point turn to get out of the corner.
It sounds like he's chasing them, right? So they drive our heroes, quote heroes, drive off. They just drive around a corner. It's just the corner of a building, right? Nothing too fancy. The mutant guy gets in his truck and he follows them, but he just doesn't take a right. It's too tight. So they show him try to take that. No, I can't do that right. And then he backs up, and reverses, and then forward and reverse.
Like, it couldn't have been more mundane if one of them had gotten out and started giving directions. Like,
it was 83 minutes. They couldn't cut a single second of this. They couldn't do it. Okay. There is a chase. Eventually they get again towards like a quarry type place, because that's where most places are filmed, or most of this is filmed rather. There's a chase and the fake mutant woman, she just flies out of the Jeep. Did you catch that?
Yeah,
but it was like, was it a tight corner? Did she hit a bump?
It wasn't. She just flew out of the car, like into a lake. But earlier on in the film, in the first chase, I had this thought where some of the bikers were just falling over, and I was very confused. And then obviously they explain afterwards that they're falling asleep.
Yeah.
As is the theme of the film. I guess when the sun's going down or when their power runs out. I thought then, is this just going to be another thing that will make sense afterwards? It doesn't make sense. She just flies out of the vehicle.
Yeah. Part of me thought it was a mistake. Just like
did that actress make any further films after this?
Maybe, but it was just kind of like, it was just so weird. There was no comment on it. Of course, it was just great. She just flew out, and maybe she's dead. I don't know. Maybe they just want to redo it. There was a scene earlier, during like the first chase, with the bikes chasing Brad and Maury in the car, where it was before they were running out of power. One of the mutants just falls off his bike, and he just slips, and the other guys kept going. So I don't think they were retaking many things here.
No.
Brad manages to jump on the big truck, and he sneaks behind the mutant leader, tries to like beat him up, choke him out. The truck stops, and they have a bit of a Star Trek fight. You know what I mean? Like he'll hit with a double axe handle, that type of stuff.
It was very Star Trek. Even the way he sort of jumped onto the truck.
Yeah.
Was like that.
It was, how can we get a non-stunt person to do stunts? The mutant guy is about to stove Brad's head in with a rock, but Angela shoots him. I didn't realise they had any guns. But Brad then gives a speech about monsters and humanity and how we've done it before. Then the movie ends. That's it. There's about 5 seconds of theme. End. That is it. My word. What a mad movie in many ways. And again, like just like you, rich with our great points at the beginning. And as we were going on, it was just like, hurry up.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh man, wild movie.
There was probably more things to look at and to find, but yeah, that's it, I think.
Okay, all right.
Shall we
let's sift through?
Should we wrap up our great scores?
Yeah, let's do it. All right. So in genre, I've only got post-nuclear apocalypse. Do we have anything else genre-wise? Plot? Anything to do with the plot? The humor? There wasn't. It was quite humorless.
It was humorless. Humorless. Even the jokes were humorless. No, they're searching, but it's so broad. We just need to look for some non-mutants. I don't think it ties into anything.
No, so post-nuclear apocalypse. And then in random specifics, we've got a couple of gameplay mechanics, so sleeping and looting. holotape exposition, and the solar powered perk. I think those are all pretty solid. The looting is, I think it's, we'll come back to it. I guess it pops up in aesthetics as well. Maybe those merge.
I think there's two things with the looting. It's the looting, but it's also what they're looting. There are specifically crates and boxes that they open up. That's very kind of Fallout in that manner.
I did also have I think this is during the first fight where not the chase, the car chase, but when the mutants attack their little hideout, and Brad is fighting them all off. He loots a shotgun off of a downed enemy and then uses that shotgun on them. I think that's the first time I've seen that in any of these films, where, because that's actually that's like almost the gameplay loop of Fallout, really, in a way, right? Is you
See, I was thinking
enemies,
that because
you take
I
their
mentioned
weapons.
it. I was mentioning that earlier of he definitely takes the gun and then he runs out of ammo, so it's not just his gun anymore. You know what? You're talking me into that.
Yeah.
I think that's such a game. So that's how, what do you even call that? It's like it is, you're trying to upgrade a weapon, but it's limited.
I think it's just the kill loot. Shoot.
Kill loot drop. Kill loot shoot drop.
Yeah, the kill loot shoot drop gameplay loop, basically.
Okay.
So we've got 4 in there. I feel sorry, we've got 5 in there. We'll come back to looting because I think we'll discuss that a little further. Under environment, I've just got wasteland. Now, this is one of those ones where it is technically that thing, but it doesn't look like a Fallout wasteland. At best, it looks like the Mojave Desert, just in it being sandy.
I think
it is a wasteland.
You're right. It's kind of half a wasteland, half the Mojave, right? It's like I mentioned, every time they stop somewhere, it's a gravel pit.
Yeah.
Right. So it's, what can you have out in the middle of nowhere that has a structure and has something to be curious about and explore. So I'd kind of give it that.
Any other environments? I think I had one other one. Did you have anything else? Just that the permanent campsite that they set up is very Fallout 4, Fallout 76.
Yeah. It's like,
and I think in terms of the actual, I would put it in environment versus like random, just because it looks and functions exactly like what it is meant to be. You know, sleep there, you have your weapons, etc., all those sort of things. You go out, do your missions for the day, and you come back and you rest.
Yeah. I'd take that, yeah. It's I think it's meant to be like a garage, or garage, however you want to say it, but like a mechanic's workshop, right? Because there's an office, which is kind of clean, where they kind of live, and then there's a big space where they kind of have vehicles and dump and talk and decompress, I guess. But
which is what made me think of Fallout 4 and 76's settlement system, because you often take like an existing structure and then kind of modify it. So those two in environment. We've got quite a lot of in aesthetics. So we've got the old school computer room, which I think that's pretty solid.
Yeah. It's definitely got that look, I would say.
We've got the shots of the mushroom clouds. I think I'd put that as a distinct thing personally, like versus just the post-nuclear apocalypse, just because you often get that referenced in those other films, but you don't see it.
We've also had movies that are sort of either that could be end of the world, but it was like an environmental issue, right? Yeah. Or you have the wasteland environment, but it's not the end of the world and there's no bombs. Yeah. So having specifically mushroom clouds, I'd say yeah.
I think it's the visual motif, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
So.
We've got canned food scavenging. Now, I guess it's specifically the canned food itself. is really what it is.
Well, I would say the canned food, but then also like handguns and bullets. I think we mentioned them lower on, lower down.
Yeah.
I think they're kind of the same thing. It's great loot from both video games and from Fallout, right? You do find. I'm thinking of Resident Evil a lot sometimes when watching this. I don't know why. I think it was the holotape. You know, the tape. It's kind of. I think the music that was playing it during them playing it. It also had that vibe of you're reading notes in Resident Evil 1, you know, in the mansion or whatever.
Yeah.
It's kind of had that vibe of like, oh, something weird has been happening. I don't understand. You know what I mean? Like, and trying to very, very explicitly feed it to you as short as possible. But yeah.
So do we, are we removing handguns and bullets as a separate thing? And just sort of
let's merge them. I'm happy with merging.
Then we've got the floor beds. I think that's quite a specific sort of visual motif again. Emerging from the vault, shielding eyes. Does this go in aesthetics or does it go in random or something else?
I was thinking aesthetic because it's just a visual thing, but
yeah. Again, I think visual motif, isn't it? I think that's what it is. There's a lot of. I think that probably
it doesn't impact the game. It does. You don't emerge from the vault and then somebody stabs you because you're not looking. Like,
I think it's quite telling as well that like the where we've got the most points is what we keep referring to as like visual motifs, because that's all this movie really is. It's kind of just.
Not even their own.
Yeah, it's like stock footage / other film, and our characters kind of almost reacting to it, or just like doing a little fill in between. And then we've got the decapitated head, which I think that's pretty specific. And the punk vest NPC clothing. I mean, we're kind of maxed out at 6 anyway. I don't mind keeping it, but
I would say keep it, but it doesn't count.
Yeah,
so
it doesn't count.
It's fine.
Anyway. And then finally in tribes, I've just got. There's probably another one that could go in here. Right now, I've just got it in as gangsters / raiders / mutants, because they're kind of all of the above. But I don't know. Do you think they operate like raiders and then also they are mutants?
I think the mutants part is covered by the solar powered perk. That's the only mutation really of them, other than the desire to like kill and whatever.
Okay.
But I'd say they're just raiders, right? They behave like raiders. Their ambition is that of a raider. Other than the ultra specific wanting to drink, I don't know, was it back fluid or something? I'd say that is just it in terms of them being either raiders or gangsters or mutants.
I think I'd be tempted to include them separately.
Yeah.
Only because those, even if they weren't, because they're barely mutants in the movie, right? Like it's kind of reference and it's not impactful, isn't visually represented. So like taking that element out of it, I think they would still be raider adjacent, or like. I think they're referred to as like gangers in New Vegas. They kind of operate like that, so I sort of see them as that, and then
I would trust you on this. If you're reading more into, I kind of saw them very generally, but if you can see more uniqueness in them that is more distinct, then you can put those down.
Okay,
I'm not gonna block that. So to speak.
I mean. Then we've got so that's the great score, but we've also got the debuffs to go as well. So
cool. Well, let me ask you final one on tribes. Final one on tribes for me is, does he have a companion, and then is he a lone wanderer? Because he's doing something with Maury. Brad is doing something with Maury, and then he's all by himself. So he kind of has both, right? He has a companion, and he's sad ever so briefly when he dies. Do we think is he a lone wanderer, or does he have a companion? Are those included? Do we think within tribes?
I don't think so. No, I think
No?
I think both are too weak. I think.
Yeah. It's not really about, well, I was going to say it's not really about his personality. However, he does, as pathetic as it is in the movie, he does go, yeah, she died. Right? When he's talking about his wife or girlfriend, when they're talking about, do you have anybody? Are you sad the world has ended? I think it's trying to feed the idea that he is a lone wanderer anyway.
Maybe, but I think that I think the problem is, I don't think he ever really operates as a lone wanderer. Like, the movie rushes everything too much for that to be the case, because for a while him and his buddy Maury are operating as a duo. Like, they're almost equal partners. And then as soon as Maury dies, we get introduced to the woman, and then he's taken prison. Like, so he's not. He doesn't spend enough time soloing it, I think, for me.
You're right.
I do agree that, like, he is kind of the archetype, but I don't think he gets the chance to actually be that in the movie.
Yeah. The movie's trying to tell you that, but it's not clear. So debuffs. You can't take anything away from this film.
Okay.
I mean, the chases, right?
Yeah.
The car and bike chases.
It's like with Mad Max, it's too prominent of a feature for it to not be included.
Anything else do you think other than car chases and bike chases?
So this popped up, we want to keep reference to previous films at a minimum. So this has come up before, where something is referenced and is technically true. So mutants, as an example in this, they are technically mutants in this, but they're not really mutants. Like, they don't look, feel, operate like mutants at all. I think there's a few things like that in the movie. I think the mutants are one thing. I think the wasteland is another one as well, where I'm like I said, that opening shot.
I will say with that, that is the kind of thing that might split Fallout fandom, in as much as they are not mutants, they have mutations.
Yeah, which is fair. That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. So I think
those are things that the player can get, right? So you can get mutations.
Yeah,
so
that's fair. So they don't have to be like super mutants as such. Like they have mutations and therefore are technically mutants. So that's fair. I think it's just a general thing throughout the film where, like, certain things are not, and I guess it's because of the limitations of the budget, are just not the thing that they're meant to be. That opening wasteland shot, like, it's like it just looked like a place.
There's it's meant to be end of the world, and there's a perfectly intact industrial.
And there's an airport, I think. Like, it looked like an airport.
It's like what I try to remember going on a field trip to Oxford Science Village looked like. You know what I mean? It's like it's a green belt, and then they added or a brown belt, and they added this office with lots of glass windows, and all the glass windows were intact there, right? It was all shiny. It didn't look like something bad had happened. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. It's like, this doesn't really look like the end of the world.
Yeah. So yeah, that was my only other suggestion was is the wasteland not wasteland.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Not a wasteland.
Yeah.
Not a wasteland actual. And I think I mentioned that I said I was confused about their reaction.
Yeah, no, genuinely, at the beginning, I was not clear on what had actually happened. It was only until the holotape plays where it confirms that that's what's happened that I was like, okay, that is what happened. I thought they were just at a science, place in the middle of a desert.
Wow. So the final great score, we've got 1 for genre, 5 for random events or random specifics. We've got 2 for environment, 6 for aesthetics, 2 for tribe, and we've got a 2 debuff, a -2 debuff. That's a total of 14. Do you know where that places this movie?
That's got to be bottom, surely.
It's dead last.
Yeah.
1 point below. 1 point below the one above it, which I won't mention.
I feel like if the movie had a little bit of a budget and kind of was able to execute the vision, I guess, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
It may have bumped everything up. Like, it wouldn't have, gotten at least one of the debuffs.
We're probably going to talk about some other things soon. And I will mention some positives when we do about I liked this idea. Right, there's a couple of things that I kind of liked, but you're right, they just couldn't execute it.
Yeah.
So, what do we think about this as a non-Fallout movie?
Yeah, not good. It was janky, to say the least, confusing, not entertaining. Like, none of the bike chases are entertaining in any way. They just confused me.
No,
just people randomly falling off their bikes.
Yeah, you're like, did they mean to do that? That's kind of what you're thinking a lot during this film. It's just like, did they mean to do that?
Yeah, it is bad. Like, it's like I said, I genuinely think the most entertaining point was the gratuitous sex scene, and that's not a good sign, because that's the thing that's usually like the eye rolly part. Like, outside of that, there's nothing. I thought the conclusion is bizarre. The flashback exposition is strange. The only other entertaining bit was when she flies off of the.
It was such a shocker.
But even then, again,
it's
like,
amazing.
anytime there's an opportunity for entertainment, I'm more just confused before that. Like, I'm like, wait, why is that happening?
Did you have the same instinct as me? Is like, is she okay? like I was genuinely worried.
Yeah. Poorly made. Like, there are things I give leeway to lower budgets, but there are moments in here where it's just poor filmmaking. I think the opening scene when they come out of the sort of underground facility is very demonstrative of that. Like, without a lot of footage, you can still show and set that up in a way that's clear that this, like, there's the devastation of a post-apocalyptic wasteland, even if you don't make it look like that, showing something before or whatever it is. Like, it's
they literally used mushroom cloud footage.
Yeah,
they didn't make that. They used that existed. Yeah. They could have used wasteland footage from something else.
Yeah. What did you think?
There's parts where I enjoyed it and I was having fun, but there was just so much. I appreciated their attempts to try and finish the movie, and not even finish. They knew in advance, as I say, they knew they were going to be using footage from other films.
Yeah.
They set it up. They tried to create continuity. They had the big buff guy pick up Angela randomly, like, great, thanks, we'll use that. They went to the window to look at what's going on outside. They tried to make up the helmet to look like the other guy's helmet, like. They knew what was going to be happening, and they just didn't do very well. And
yeah, you can respect the attempt to finish the film, which is a very low bar.
Look, what was the guy's name? Giuseppe?
Yeah.
I don't want to get it wrong. I don't want to sound like an Italian racist. But what's this guy's name? Giuseppe?
What's his name? Mario?
Yeah. What's the guy's name again? Hang on. It was Giuseppe Vari. Yeah, I appreciate hustle, but this ain't it.
Yeah. I think a positive that I've taken out of it is that I do realize that there are a bunch of movies out there that don't actually have any information on them, and we've actually gone through the quote-unquote effort of watching the movie, and maybe we could write the Wikipedia page for it. We could fill out the IMDb page a little with some trivia.
To start, all we have to do, well, okay, there's two things. One, all we have to do is watch the movie again, That's tough, I know. Watch the movie again, and when it says music by, we then just go, I'm going to fill in this detail. Music by, right?
Yeah.
We could do that much, right, maybe. But then also, when it comes to cultural references, we can put us in there.
Yes, that's a good point. This influenced this episode of Pod Never Changes.
I get the feeling that'll be pretty flagged pretty quickly.
It might get. Well, I don't think it will get flagged very quickly. No one's going on that page, dude. So it was a movie. Out of 5 on Letterboxd. What are you giving it?
Again, I appreciate the effort. I want to. You know what? I'm going to give it a 2.
Wow.
Oh no! I'm going to give it 1.5. There's. No, 2. There's enough there to go, weird. Right? There's enough there.
That's a bar.
I think, there's enough for a 2. I know you're going to go, okay, yeah. Is this I think I'm predicting a 1 from you.
I mean, I don't know how it can get worse than this, really. Like, I think it's a 0.5 star for me. It's bad. Like, it's. I would rather watch The Room. I think The Room is a more entertaining movie.
My experience of watching The Room, I've never watched it before. We were going to go watch it at the cinema, right? And it was, so I should probably watch it first, so I get the jokes and everything that people are going to laugh at. And, there was that first sex scene. And within minutes later, the second sex scene. So I had to draw my blinds so my neighbours didn't think I was like some sort of mad freak. Are you drawing your blinds if you're going to watch this movie again? Oh, no, change that. Did you draw your blinds?
Well, I was watching it and my wife came in the room and I had to like kind of cover my computer briefly because I was like, don't look at what I'm watching. And she was horrified when she stood and watched a minute of the movie. So, and that was not the sex scene.
Oh, really?
That was just the movie. Wow. Yeah. No,
was she like, why did this helicopter come from?
I can't remember what it was at what point, but just you can literally just stop at any point in the movie and something weird is happening. And so whatever was happening, she was just confused by and then walked away. So yeah, it's bad. Like it's not entertaining. I didn't find a lot of it engaging or endearing, apart from the effort to have completed the film, I guess. So it's a 0.5 star from me.
0.5 star. Man, we're going to sink that average on Letterboxd.
It's not got an average on Letterboxd yet.
Wow, okay.
Maybe our 2 reviews will push it over the edge.
Yeah. Like that random car that got pushed over the edge by another car from another movie that was spliced into them.
I think we should watch The Final Executioner. I think that's got to happen. I feel like we should have actually maybe watched it as part of this, as background. But then the problem is The Final Executioner probably has spliced footage from some other Italian movie from the 80s. So we'll end up on a breadcrumb trail.
L'ultimo guerriero. After a nuclear holocaust.
There we go.
As the rest of society regresses to primitivism. Wow, okay. It's on the list.
Add it.
What? It's on Prime Video.
Yeah, I skimmed through it. To find that, to verify whether the footage came from that movie.
Okay. I mean, it's on the list.
All right, so that was what was the movie called again? Urban Warriors. That was Urban Warriors. As a little final twist on the concept, what I'm going to be asking you is, how would you mod in Urban Warriors into Fallout? Are you doing a gameplay mod, a quest mod, some?
I got a couple, right? Basically, it's an outfit or a skin or something. It's Brad's leather vest outfit. with the studs on one shoulder and the leopard print on the other, and his excessively long pistol. So, like, early on when they find guns, it's so long he has to slot it down his deep V into, because he doesn't have his vest yet. I kind of like that pistol, but that's just a simple give him guns and give him stats. Somewhere, right? This is what I was saying earlier about, I like the, so correct me, right, or update me, or fill me in. Is New Vegas the only game where your character, your hero, is not a vaulty?
No, there's Fallout 2 as well.
Fallout 2, okay.
Yeah.
So basically, I like the idea of having a mod or an extension or characters or something where you are not a vaulty. And so the idea of those ecology students in a valley, completely unaware of the end of the world and just living on as normal, and then emerging from the valley into a world of radiation. I like that idea.
Yeah,
I'm fascinated by that. I don't know what it looks like. It feels like it could be a mod where you could have an extended world and you throw it into probably the Mojave, right? Where you have a verdant valley, which is all even green and wonderful. And so either you're defending it from encroaching raiders or a legion, that kind of, I think, mod where it's its own world where you're some student, and you've got to, and you basically, it's the same gameplay, it's just you've just got to defend, right? Or something like this. Or maybe you then, after you defend, you then go out into the world and then you just play New Vegas as normal, right? Because you've now left the valley and you're in the world. That's kind of thing. I kind of like that idea. Or, emerging from tunnels or whatever, instead. But I like the idea of having a different world from which you're coming other than the vault.
No, I like that. It's kind of funny because, again, I feel like this has become a theme on the podcast where I mention sort of Bethesda, criticisms of the Bethesda era Fallout, which is that there's a little bit of flanderizing. I mean, it's hard to say because it's only been 2 mainline games, really, Fallout 3 and 4. But a criticism is just that everything's become a bit too vault centric. Fallout 1, you were a vault dweller. Fallout 2, you weren't. I feel like it should be the norm that you have a little bit of a diversity in how the game starts. But I like that. I like that idea. I had the same thought with even just the lab geek. They're not lab geeks, whatever the hell they are. Those guys at the beginning of the movie, them being in
Stan refers to them as weaklings, I think, or more. As weaklings.
Yeah, you start off as weaklings. I like that. A sort of different origin.
Or even environment, like I say, the idea of the so ecology is like they could, I guess it's like in The Martian, right? Like, yeah, we can make something out of this, but they're already in a valley and touched by radiation.
It's a good point because the vaults in Fallout are inherently very fun because there's that element of going into the unknown there. You don't know what the experiment is in that vault, and what could be hiding in there. So I think all you need to do is replicate that same feeling to get the same sort of satisfaction. So have it going into like a valley that's kind of untouched, maybe. So rather than coming out of there, but going in there, that could be equally fun. How would I mod it? I think I quite liked. It's not really a plus for the movie, but the movie as a Fallout analog, it works. Is that loop that they have of being at the settlement and going out and looking for survivors and then coming back and kind of covering area by area. I kind of like that as like a little Radiant quest system. So obviously the plot is very generic in the movie and that it's just to quote unquote find survivors. But I think adding in a little Radiant quest, a repeatable quest at a settlement where maybe you're looking for something, an item or a group of people, and you have to go out each day and kind of search by area, but you need to be back in time. I think adding just like a gameplay mechanism to enable
Fill me
that.
in by Radiant. What do you mean by Radiant?
So Radiant quests are like the ones in Fallout 4. I think they probably Fallout 4 and 76 both probably have them. They're like those kind of repeatable infinite quests, like that like Preston Garvey gives you. You know, go to this settlement.
Oh,
here
he
and do
starts repeating himself. He doesn't. He gets after a while. He doesn't get specific, and it's just like, yo, another settlement. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, I think maybe it could integrate well into the survival mode that we sort of discussed previously.
Could it be a bit? I'm thinking Fortnite, where the daylight is a factor, and with that, it's like a storm is encroaching.
Yeah,
where you have sunset, and you have to be conscious of where the shadow is being cast.
Exactly. Yeah,
and you got to get in before it freezes because the desert freezes at night or something.
Yeah, that could be a fun way of doing it. I like that as a gameplay loop. So yeah, just integrating that somehow. In mix of survival mode, mix of a new area settlement mode, combine those elements to kind of recreate that that aspect. It's not really very specific to the movie, but then the movie is not very specific to itself, so who cares, right? So.
Yeah, that's true. It's more specific to another movie than itself. So I apparently have chosen the least Fallout movie on the list. What are you looking to choose to compete?
So the movie that I've got lined up is one that's referenced specifically in Fallout 3, in the "those!"
Oh.
quest, where a boy approaches you and he's sort of asking you to get rid of some fire-breathing ants in his home, village, settlement. So it's the 1954 movie directed by Gordon Douglas, Them! A horror horde of crawl and crush giants clawing out of the earth from mile-deep catacombs. As a result of nuclear testing, gigantic, ferocious mutant ants appear in the American desert southwest, and a father-daughter team of entomologists join forces with the state police officer who first discovers their existence, an FBI agent, and eventually the US Army to eradicate the menace before it spreads across the continent and the world. So, yeah, we've got some mutated ants directly referenced in the games. So it could be that, you know, it's got some very strong Fallout points, but actually not many because it's not, you know, a post-apocalypse in the same way.
My expectation is, yes, we got the ants, we got them, they. I think also we're going to get like the approach to science.
Yeah,
that Fallout has, I think, is going to be popping up here, I think.
And we've got a father-daughter team there as well. So, yeah, I think there could be a few things. Have you seen it before?
I get the feeling it's an MST3K movie, maybe. So maybe I've seen it there, but with, you know, a couple of robots and a dude joking over the top of it. So
yeah, it's been on my list for a long time. It's quite well rated. Not to spoil it too much, but yeah. So I'm curious. We'll see how Fallout is.
I think in some ways, very specifically, I would expect. Oh, well, we'll find out. So, well, it's been great watching the oddest, weirdest, stupidest, not really a movie. Looking forward to the next one. I've been Ricky, and with me, thank you, has been...
LJ, hello. I mean, bye-bye. What am I doing?
You'll figure it out.
I'll figure it out one day. I'll go to sleep now.
Yeah. The sun's gone down. You're about to hunch over your desk.
Or just launch myself into a lake. See everyone.
Bye.